Happy New Year, everybody, and welcome to the very first episode of 2019 of the Geek Dad Report, the one show dedicated, formulated, specially created, and to bring you guys all the nerd news you need to know, all while putting a little smile on your pretty little faces. Or maybe big faces, I don't know, I'm not here to judge. Some of you probably have very large faces, some of you very small faces. We love all the faces.
Even if you were a clown face,
we do not love the clown faces. I retract my previous statement. We love all faces but clown faces because those are fucking weird and nobody likes them. And if you're a clown, I suggest get a new profession. It's 2019. Quit living in like 1965 in your van down by the river.
New life goals.
Yeah. Any life goals at this point, let's be honest here. Anyway, welcome to episode 162 of the new year. We got a big show for you guys. Today we're actually going to be break down. We're about a week behind everybody else, but we took a much needed week off for the holidays. We have our best of 2018 and most anticipated of 2019 show. Tonight, that's what you're watching currently right now.
Yes, and
I'm Brian West, the hostess with the mostest.
I was going to say, that's Brian West, and I'm Ryan Thomason. Just so you guys know.
Whatever, they know.
Because we don't want anyone to forget.
They know. And if they didn't know, now they know. What do you have to say? What are you doing over there?
I was getting my notes set up.
Notes set up? That's a phone. That's not notes.
Well, I thought it would transfer to my iPad.
Quit playing MacBook. Candy Crush. It will transfer to your iPad. You might not have it set up.
I don't know. But we do have a good show tonight. That's what I do.
Mine automatically updates. You need to check your settings. All right, what do we got for you? What do we got? What do you got? You said you had a story. How you been, man? How the hell have you been? How was your Christmas? I see you still got your tree up, you lazy son of a bitch. Mine was put away weeks ago.
Well, I had a great Christmas because I did not work from Christmas Eve until December 31st. So I put on pajamas on Christmas Eve, and then we went out to a friend's house for Christmas Day, put my pajamas back on, and then didn't leave the house for like 5 days. And we just lived off of ham, and then I just wore my pajamas. Hey, no, keep it on the happy face.
No, nope. Your story. This is what your story is making me do, Ryan. Watch. The angry faces is my moods currently. Happy, not happy. I don't care about your 2 weeks off. Some of us people with real jobs had to work. I could tell by your shirtless time with us last night on the NFL show that you should have been actually working and less sitting around and eating ho-hos. I mean, I'm not shaming you. You know, you're beautiful. You're beautiful to somebody. But to me, you need to do some goddamn sit-ups. And get your ass back to work, Ryan.
Saying that you had to work the whole week of Christmas while I had the whole time off. And you did not enjoy me reminding you of that?
I'm not really fat shaming you. I'm just really angry at you right now.
Well, this might make you feel better. So, New Year's Day. So, my kids stayed up. Mm-hmm. Made it to midnight.
Okay.
And about 10 o'clock at night, our neighbors decided to light up their charcoal grill right outside their back door, which happened to be right outside my back door. So the whole side of my house and my whole upstairs of my house smelled like charcoal smoke.
Oh, nice.
A really thick charcoal smoke. And so I had to go out and talk to them, and they moved it. You know, they were nice about it. But it gave my son a headache, like a really bad headache. And so he kept complaining all night, I got a headache. And we're like, whatever, you're just tired. Here's a kid's ibuprofen. They stay up till midnight. It's about like 12:30 till everyone finally goes to bed. I take out my hearing aids and, I have my glasses on. So I'm completely deaf and blind to the whole world. And nothing's worked. If I've been sleeping for 5 hours or something like that, and I get woken up, I'm all right. I can function. Uh-huh. But if I woke up after 45 minutes, when you're just kind of gone right into the beginning of deep sleep,
yeah,
I'll get shaken, woken up. And I'm standing there trying to figure out what the hell is going on. My glass, and we all slept downstairs because the kids wanted to sleep downstairs.
Uh-huh.
And I'm standing up, and I get my hearing aids and my glasses put into my hands. And so I'm just, I'm putting everything on. And I'm trying to figure out what's going on. And I was just starting to walk, toward the kitchen. Now, my hearing aids, I turn them on, and it does like a jingle, and then I can hear stuff. And right after the jingle, I could finally hear my wife like, "Stop!" And I was just about to step into a giant pool of my son's vomit.
Oh.
Apparently,
he got carbon monoxide poisoning and almost died, and you just didn't care and put him to bed.
Less than an hour after, we all went to sleep, she said he was rolling around, and, and she said, whispered to him, "What's wrong?" He's like, "Well, my stomach hurt." And she's like, "Okay, well, go upstairs if you're not feeling good." Kids are dumb. They don't understand anything. And then she said, all of a sudden, you just sat straight up. And she's like, "You need to go upstairs. Like, go upstairs now." And he just, hesitated and didn't do it. And she said the second he stood up, she said it was just like Exorcist. And it just...
God. Did he play the Ouija board? Was he possessed by a Beelzebub? I mean, what happened?
And then turned around and, ran up the stairs, just just puking on the stairs, all the way up to the stairs, into the bathroom, just all over the toilet. And that's how I got to begin the first the first hour of 2019.
So a couple of questions.
On my knees with paper towels, sopping up a whole bunch of throw up, and then using 6 gallons of cleaner.
Okay, first of all, why would you think that I would like this? You're like, oh, yeah, I got a story you're going to like. This is a terrible story. Makes me want to vomit just listening to it.
Typically, you appreciate a story where I am disenfranchised in some way.
Well, yeah, but I mean, when your kid's sick and you got to clean up vomit, that's the worst thing. I don't wish that on anybody. That's terrible. There's nothing worse than a sick kid at all. Because they're usually super whiny, too. It's like, man up. Pull it together.
Well, and then we got to spend the whole day. Both of the kids had headaches, and they're achy and sore. And then I was also...
So you guys got a flu.
Heat flashes. That we all got a mild flu. And my whole body was just... all my joints were hurting.
Dude, that reminds me of what I told you when I was really sick about a month ago. I thought I was dying.
Yeah.
Yeah, same thing. Vomit, and then all of a sudden you're just dead to the world. The whole body hurts, and then you're fine. Whatever.
Yeah. So
Ryan, you caught Ebola. I don't know if you knew this, but I'm a doctor. I stayed at Holiday Inn Express one time, and did you guys have blood coming out of your eyes?
No.
I feel like you did, and you just want to lie about it. But yeah, you definitely had type 1 Ebola. I can't believe you're alive. You're like Wolverine.
Isn't that what the monkey does, from the Outbreak movie? Isn't that what they gave everybody?
Yeah, I think they have in that movie, it's a strand of Ebola. That was a good movie. That was a great movie, actually.
That movie.
What do you mean you forgot about it? You just referenced it.
I haven't referenced it since this very second, but it was the Outbreak.
You referenced it, and then I talked about it, and then you act like you were surprised, and you're like, "Oh, I forgot about that movie. It's so good."
Well, no,
you brought it up.
I haven't thought about that movie in forever. So
well, I know when you did think about it, 2 minutes ago when you referenced it.
Was it Ebola?
Well, that sounds like a riveting story. Hopefully that is not a sign of things to come for you in 2019.
So that was my beginning of 2019. So.
Mine was pretty uneventful. We sat and we went to a friend's house and played Mexican Train. Have you ever played that game?
No. How do you play that?
It's pretty cool. It's you can get it at most stores. It's it's like a form of dominoes. You have to you do sequence from the numbers, and you have to. I don't know. You have to play you each draw a whole bunch of dominoes at the beginning. There's 2 or 3 sets of dominoes put in there. You start from the beginning. You each draw X amount of dominoes, and then you have to play it in sequence of the number. So if you have the number is 10, you have to start with the 10, and then once you start with a 10, you can play your dominoes. So if you go 10 and then a 4, you can play a 4 and a 6, and then a 6 and a 3, and then a 3 and an 8, and then an 8 and a So, you could sequence all your dominoes out, and the first person out, that means when you get rid of all your dominoes, what everybody else has in their hand, they add up, and they get that many points. The person with the most points after 12 hands loses. So
that sounds interesting.
it's pretty cool. And then it's called Mexican Train because you have these little trains, and then there's always a Mexican train line where so everybody has their own. You have this little thing that the dominoes go on, and everybody has their own line, and there's always one extra line called the Mexican Train, where anybody can hop on it and play dominoes on that one. Or if you can't play a domino that hand, you put a train on your line, and then anybody can play on your domino line. So it's my riveting retelling of that game. But it's a pretty fun game. It's a cool party game. You can sit and play it for 6 hours and not even realize it. So we went over there. I was the designated driver. We let the kids play there was a bunch of kids there their age, so they played with them, and I had exactly 3 beers over 5 hours, and we celebrated New Year's and drove home.
I'll have to look on Amazon for it.
Yeah, it's actually a really fun game. It takes a second to kind of figure it out, but once you do, it's pretty simple. But like I said, it's a cool party game. I mean, we had, I think, 8 people playing it, so it was fun. We just kind of hung out with some friends and didn't do anything too eventful. Except for I don't understand, like, people. Everybody's talking about like the economy sucks and nobody's got any money, but people apparently could light off mortar shells, rockets in the sky until 3 a.m. It's like, Jesus Christ, people. I gotta go to work. Well, I mean, I have to go to work that next day, but
yes,
I'm old. I just gotta go to work. That's my excuse for everything.
Yeah, we had some people in the neighborhood that walk out and like bang pots and pans and
nice
stuff like that.
Nobody did that. All our kids went out and shot poppers in the sky for a few minutes, but it was fun. Christmas is pretty good, pretty uneventful for that too. I mean, I'm fortunate. My in-laws live about a mile down the street, and they're usually the only people we go see on Christmas. So, got up, opened presents, kind of hung out, and then played Monopoly. We got Star Wars Monopoly from Santa, so we all played that as a family. And
both the girls made it all night, all the way up.
Oh yeah, they were up till about 1:30 in the morning.
Oh gee.
Yeah, New Year's Day was a real lazy. Me and the wife have been binge watching Manhunter on Netflix. I think it came out in late 2017. It's pretty cool. It's about the FBI's. It's based on a true story about the guys who basically became the first FBI criminal like serial killer people.
Yeah.
Like they kind of set up the whole behavioral science division.
Yeah.
So it's pretty good. So a little early recommendation for everybody. If you, it's not going to be in our show today just because it came out in late 2017, but I found it this year. So if you guys want a fun show it's not really a fun show. There's a lot of dark, serious subject matter. They interview a lot of serial killers, and there's some twisted stuff, but really good show. Manhunter, directed and written by David Fincher.
Ooh.
So yeah, pretty good on Netflix right now. So so we did that, and then Christmas what else we doing? Christmas I felt like we binge watched another show on Christmas. I don't remember. Me and my wife have been binge watching everything in sight. We've been trying to find things to watch and blowing through them.
We went through the rest of that. We got through Harry Potter.
Oh, nice.
We had only gotten
Harry Potter before.
We had already gotten all the way up to Deathly Hallows, but the kids didn't know if they were going to be ready for that yet because they get emotionally attached to characters and stuff.
Well, they had to say goodbye because Deathly Hallows Part 2 had a lot of people just getting wiped off the chessboard.
Yeah, but they made it fine, and they're like, "Oh, we could watch these kind of movies now." It's like, "Oh, great!" So now you guys can. So now they're like,
show them Jaws and see how they feel.
Yeah. So, we'll see. Yeah. They want to try Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them next. So.
No, we're already past those. We watched all the Jurassic Parks.
Movies. Like, there's no more Harry Potter movies. Like, are they going to make any more? No, they're not going to make any more with Harry Potter. No.
Well, I do, if you happen to have my password of my Voodoo account, I have both those on the Voodoo account, so, FYI.
Mm-hmm. I knew that.
All right. How'd you know that, Ryan? It's almost like you have my password. What's up with that?
Oh, I did some browsing.
Oh, all right. Hang on a second. I just thought of a new show that I'm excited for in 2019, so I'm going to add it to my list real quick. So, anyway, we got anything else to add before we move on to the news?
No, that was other than if you watch the NFL show, you can see that I'm very sad that my Pittsburgh Steelers did not make it to the playoffs. So
I would feel bad for you, but I don't care.
Yeah,
Go
you
Seahawks!
Feel your team also did not make the playoffs. Then you would be feeling the same.
Know what? Suck it, Ryan, because I remember last year on an NFL show when my team did not make the playoffs and your team did, and you were like, "Ooh, what's up, Ryan? Ooh. How about the Seahawks?" Ooh. Shut up, Ryan. All right, you ready to move on? You got anything else you want to add? It was a pretty uneventful. I've been purposely vague on some of the things I got for Christmas because one of our questions tonight from I believe Jeff wanted to know what was our nerdy haul for Christmas. So I got over here you guys can't see it, but over here I brought most of my nerdy stuff for Christmas. So we're going to go over that later in the show. So there you go. All right. Anything else? Should we move on to news?
I think we have that giant smorgasbord of news that we have.
Yeah. We have exactly, I think, 6 stories. Before we move on, though, we would love to hear what you guys did on New Year's and Christmas. If any of you guys got a cool story or something you want to share, we'd be more than happy to hear it. As I mentioned Jeff a second ago, he let us know that he got his first Funko Pops. So that is awesome, Jeff. I'm going to warn you.
Break your Funko cherry.
I'm going to warn you, it's a very addictive habit. It can be very, very addictive. This is only a small fraction of what I have.
Yeah, Brian's going to have to buy a whole new shelf just to accommodate all those things.
I actually bought all those Christmas ones, and I went ahead and packaged them back up just because I'm like, man, I don't know where I'm going to put these things. So, all right, anyway. But congratulations, Jeff. Funkos are awesome. All right, moving on. News. So we like to start with in the news. Well, when we have, let me start that again, is what I'd like to start again. Uno momento.
Brian's going to start with a judo chop. Of what, Brian?
Told you, man. It's been a while since we've done news. All right. Ryan, I think it's time for the news. And we are going to start it with a judo chop of information. Boom! The uppercut of knowledge.
And then we will finish it with the chop. Cobra Kai. I don't know why I said chop. But Cobra Kai leg sweep.
You can combine it. The Cobra Kai leg chop of...
Yeah, but it was a leg sweep, though. It wasn't really much of a chop.
It was like a double chop sweep. You know what? I'll allow it. Double chop. As a child of the 80s, I went to a dojo at least twice. I'm going to allow that, the double chop leg sweep of learning.
Yes.
All right, well, we like to start, we don't really like to, but unfortunately people die and we can't stop it. So whenever we lose somebody that we care about, I mean, I guess we care about everybody, but somebody that was important to us growing up, we always leave the news with that sad, sad news. So this week we actually had 2 people pass that were big deals in our life. The first one was Bob Einstein?
Yeah, I didn't know if it was Einstein or Einstein.
Yeah, I didn't even know his last name was Einstein. I thought his name was actually Dave. I didn't know his name was Bob. So he's better known to most of us who grew up in the 80s and 90s as Super Dave, who had a comedy show where he would just make incredibly crazy stunts. He basically kind of was a comedic version of Evel Knievel.
Yeah, well, sometimes they would show like Evel Knievel clips, or like or like Evel Knievel's family member, son doing this cool thing, and then it would be, here comes the Super Dave thing, and it would be totally outlandish. And
he'd always do things like try and shoot himself out of a cannon, and then it would be like bloop, and he'd fall on the ground and just be like burnt up from the gunpowder.
One of my favorites was he gets inside a football that's on a cannon, and the football was supposed to launch him, but instead it just kind of lifted him up and then just spiked him into the ground.
Yeah, he was great. Before we had clips of YouTube videos, we had Super Dave, and he was basically our generation's YouTube clips.
And he would get hurt, and he would just be all stretched out, and would fall down like a ravine, stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean that was not the only thing he did. He was a busy actor. Most recently, I think on Curb Your Enthusiasm was the last show he was on. But he was always appearing on people's shows, guest stars, and was a funny dude all the way up until his death. Like I said, he passed the age of 76. So, Super Dave, good journey, and may the force be with you. You will be missed.
Yes.
Also, I think at the age of 76 was he was 75 or 76. We lost Mean Gene Okerlund, who, if any of you grew up in the 80s watching WWE, or F as it was known back then, he was the commentator and, behind the stage reporter, backstage reporter.
Yes.
He was, I don't know, man. I mean, if you watch wrestling, you knew who Mean Gene was. He was great. He was the best commentator pretty much of all time, in my opinion.
To me, as a kid, he was the most legitimate thing about the whole show.
Well, he made you really think it was real. The way he would talk about it, like it would just happen.
He made everything like, oh my God.
Yeah, somebody got thrown through a table and he'd be like, oh my God, it just happened. How will he ever walk away from that disaster? And you were like, oh.
I'm going to go interview him backstage now. And then
his voice, had he chosen to do baseball or football or anything other than wrestling, I believe he would have been an iconic sportscaster in any medium. He just had that voice and his expressions. You could hear his expressions through his voice, and it was just, he made you believe. He made you believe. He was definitely one of the biggest things in wrestling entertainment when we were younger, and he was part of the package, right? I do not believe WWE would be what it is today without him.
Yes, and he definitely also had a really good mustache.
Oh, he had a great mustache. It was like, it wasn't super like Magnum PI-ish. Like back in the day when Magnum PI stashes were all the rage, he went a little bit smaller and more distinguished, and it was very classy.
Yes, and like Brian said, he made you believe everything that was really happening. And I remember as a kid, he was probably one of my more favorite parts, of any WWE episode.
I still remember his call when I believe it was him who did the call when WrestleMania 3, when Hulk Hogan picked up Andre the Giant and slammed him.
Yeah.
When you watch it again, it's not really that impressive, but the call is amazing.
I gotta listen to it.
You would think that Hulk Hogan picked up a semi-truck, threw it 30 feet in the air, and did a leg drop off the top of a skyscraper. I mean, it was that incredible. But, I haven't watched wrestling in a while, and I haven't heard Mean Gene in a long time, but he was definitely a huge part of our 80s childhood. So,
yes.
As we like to say, once again on the Geek Dad Report, good journeys, Mean Gene, and may the force be with you.
Yes.
All right, on to happier stuff, I guess. Okay, that was two of our... What do we want to talk about next? How about Stranger Things? We got our first official tease over the holidays of Stranger Things. Well, we've had a few teasers, but we got our first official poster. Pretty cool poster. It's 11, and and Mike holding hands. I think it's Mike. I don't remember. 11 and the kid who likes 11. I mean, let's be honest. 11's the best. Everybody else is not the best. But,
there's 11's on it. That's all that matters.
But I believe it's Mike. Mike and 11 holding hands. They're at a 4th of July celebration. There's fireworks going off. And the tagline is, "One summer can change everything." Stranger Things 3. I also like how they're not doing it like season 3. It's like a movie. Stranger Things 3 launches July 4th. So... fuck fireworks. I know what I'm doing all fucking day on July 4th.
Well, and they're supposed to be like having like a new mall in town or something like that. And that's like the big deal.
Yeah, the mall is the setting in this, so that's going to be their main setting apparently in this. I don't give a shit. It could be set on the fucking moon.
Where they're going to take it from season 2. So.
I don't care. I will watch every second of it. I mean, the moment. Let's see. So July 4th. That means it'll drop July 3rd. And we have the whole 4th of July off, right? So I'm going to literally stay up the night before, watch it all, and I'll be done before I'm lighting fireworks off.
Yeah. Just take a power nap before the fireworks. We don't want you, getting hurt.
That's true. All right, what else we got here? Let's see. 6 of the top 8 worldwide movies in 2018 were all superhero films. So anybody who said that superhero films are going away, well, no, they're not. And the other 2, I think, one was Mission Impossible Fallout, and the other one was, which is basically a superhero movie. And then, oh, what was the other one? I don't remember the other one, but it was also kind of a big summer blockbuster type genre film. Let's see here. Speaking of money, Ryan, apparently Jungle Cruise, which is Disney's latest movie based on one of their rides, coming out I think this year.
Yes.
It's starring Emily Blunt and The Rock. Well, apparently The Rock got paid $13 million more than Emily Blunt, despite the fact that Emily Blunt is actually headlining the movie.
Actually, she's actually an actor.
And she's a really good actor. Now, listen, I love The Rock, and I guess the easy criticism, the easy thing to say is, well, come on, it's The Rock. But let's be honest, The Rock had a hit-and-miss year last year. I mean, Jumanji hit, in December, and it did really good, but Skyscraper and Rampage, we're going to talk about those later, were basically both complete flops. I mean, well, okay, flop is a strong word. They both made money, but neither one of them were like, 800, 900 million that like Jumanji made.
Yeah, and come on, Emily Blunt, how is she not at least making a comparable salary? I mean, in this day and age, I'm surprised that it's not becoming more of a standard that the male and female leads are at least get equivalent.
Well, especially since Emily Blunt can sell a movie. I mean, she's fucking in Mary Poppins. I mean, it's Emily Blunt. I mean, she's one of the biggest, female stars of our time right now. And so, I mean, there is clearly a wage gap. Hollywood, unfortunately, is a victim of, because you have agents and they don't negotiate as like a cast, it's hard to know what each person makes. The Rock's agent went in and said, hey, he's The Rock. This is how much money he's willing to do it for. And maybe Emily Blunt's agent does, it didn't ask for as much, or, I mean, this is, I know some people like to blame the co-stars.
$13 million less, at least.
Well, and I'm not going to, I mean, apparently she's still making like $8 or $9 million, which is nothing, and not, nothing to scoff at, but I mean, this is, and we got to be careful not to blame the co-stars. I don't think it has anything to do with The Rock. I think this is whenever you have a system where there's no scale, no pay scale. I mean, it's just get what you can get. And if the studios feel they can lowball the female actresses, I mean, that's what they're going to do. I think it's wrong, and I definitely think something needs to be done about this. I mean, I'll go see a good Emily Blunt movie. Honestly, I saw more Emily Blunt movies last year than I saw The Rock movies, to be honest with you, and they were better movies. Mm-hmm. So I think we're kind of past that. I mean, clearly Wonder Woman is proven. I know Wonder Woman's a property, but female lead movies made more money last year than male lead movies. Think about that. Now, obviously, Star Wars and movies like Star Wars and Wonder Woman and things like that clearly kind of push that number up, but
yes,
I mean, we're kind of past.
You got to remember the disparity, though. You're going to have past Wonder Woman, and then and then there's basic something at the very bottom. So Wonder Woman's got to do just enough to boost up the bottom half.
And we're kind of past that age where Tom Cruise immediately means the movie's going to make $800 million, right? We are much more into ensemble casts and male and female, co-leads. And I think Hollywood needs to get with the times and start paying them equally, especially an actress like Emily Blunt. The lady's amazing.
Yes.
So
it's atrocious, but I mean, like you said, though, it's not like they're negotiating as a group. They're individually doing these contracts. So and
I will say this,
he might feel bad that he's making that much more than her. It's not his responsibility. And
I think some of the actors have come out and done a good job of saying, like, hey, listen, we're not gonna let you pay we're not taking these massive, huge increases over our female leads. You need to pay everybody equally, right? And this isn't on The Rock to give back the $13 million or give it to Emily Blunt. But if I'm The Rock, honestly, looking at this, next movie I go into, if I got especially a big name female co-lead, I walk in and say, hey, listen, guys, this is what you're going to get when you get me, and you're going to pay me $20 million, and I better not fucking hear that Charlize Theron is making $9 million less than me either.
Yeah.
So,
I would at least hope that he can do that, because he's got crap piles of money.
Yeah, so. He is The Rock, so let's, I think he's still got some sway. But, hey, and listen, if The Rock's making a couple more million, I get it, right? His name recognition, his ability to move a movie and merchandise and everything else that is The Rock is definitely worth, hey, maybe a little bit more than maybe Emily Blunt. She's great, but she's not the commercial force that The Rock is. But 13 million? That seems like a little bit much.
Yeah. If it was a smaller number, we wouldn't be talking about it right now.
Yeah, so. 3 or 4 million, okay, it's The Rock, right? It's The Rock. I mean, we're not talking about just some dude off the street. We're talking about the fucking Rock.
Yeah.
But, yeah, whatever. 13 million is a little ridiculous. Speaking of ridiculous, apparently Game of Thrones prequels will have no dragons or Targaryens.
The sequel's not going to have any dragons or Targaryens.
Yeah, they're starting to release a little information about the prequels, considering the final season's coming out here soon. But because it's going to be what we say, it was 5,000, 8,000 years in the past, it is going to be before. Well,
that's true. I mean, Westeros didn't have anything like that.
So if you're excited for more Targaryens... Too bad. You're not getting them. Transformers.
The children of the Forest and White Walkers.
Yeah, and speculation is strong that Bran the Builder is going to be one of the main characters, so this is that time. We're going to see the wall built in this one is my guess. But Transformers. Bumblebee's doing well right now in theaters. We're going to talk more about Bumblebee later. Apparently, the Paramount is excited about how Bumblebee's being received and is officially thinking about kind of rebooting the entire universe, which is much needed. And a couple of things they have in the works apparently is a Optimus Prime movie is currently in development, and a completely animated Cybertron movie is in development. And if anybody who has seen Bumblebee, the first 10 minutes of that movie is CGI, and it's the war on Cybertron. And if that does not get you excited for an all-animated movie on Cybertron, I don't know what the fuck will.
Wait, it was 10 minutes of the Cybertron War?
I don't know if it was quite 10 minutes, but the whole opening act of that movie, the whole opening part of that movie is in Cybertron. It's amazing. If you haven't seen Bumblebee, you should, but we're going to table that because we're going to talk about it. The movie you shouldn't watch, apparently, is Sherlock Holmes, or Holmes and Watson, has a 0 on Rotten Tomatoes. I think it's up to like 3% now. And people are walking out. Every theater is telling people when they walk out, if they're bitching about the movie, that they will refund them their money.
That's pretty bad.
That is bad. I would literally. I've always said I'd watch those two do anything. Apparently, the studio's putting that to the test. It's crazy that the talent behind that is making a movie that's so bad that people are walking out and demanding their money back.
Well, I mean, you can just see the trailers and you know it's not going to be an entertaining movie.
Yeah, that's true, man. I don't think there was a single funny moment in the trailers, to be honest with you.
It's like they thought they could just keep trying to play that formula that, that did for, what was it, Step Brothers.
And yeah, I mean, well, you need to, hey, it goes to show you still need a script. You can't just have talented people. Also, let's see here, moving on. So, 343 Studios over at Microsoft is releasing a little information about the new Halo Infinite game that's coming out, I think 2020? Mm-hmm. Apparently it's going to be a more of an RPG type game. My guess is that Bungie was originally developing Halo to be Destiny, and Microsoft didn't want to do that, and so they broke off and made their own into their own entity and made Destiny. So it looks like Halo is moving towards Destiny, where it's an open world shooter. You kind of create your own character, which is where games are going. Nobody wants a game anymore that you play 10 levels and then you play online where you don't rank up or do anything cool or get to add on to your armor or anything like that. So whatever, I'm excited. I need a new Halo game in my life.
I remember following Bungie when they were first developing Halo, and like you said, they were actually trying to make an RPG. Mm-hmm. It was going to be, if I remember right, it was supposed to be PC. It was just going to be for the PC. Mm-hmm. And then when Microsoft started to buy them out and they started developing Xbox stuff, it's when they made a transition to Xbox. So. Yeah. It just seemed like Halo just kind of going to where it's true intention.
Well, if anybody's ever played Halo, that game is perfect for an open world setting. I'm really excited. That's where Halo's needed to go, and I'm really excited that that's where it's going to go. So we'll find out more as the game gets closer to being released. But as of right now, that is a rumor. We're going to have an RPG Halo, which is excellent. Real quick note: Microsoft. I'm guessing probably PlayStation has the same thing. I'm an Xbox guy, so. They are having a massive sale. I believe tomorrow is the last day if you go to the Xbox store. I bought Battlefront 5 for $30, a $60 game. I bought South Park, Fractured But Whole for $18, normally $50. And I bought Wolfenstein. I always wanted to play the new Wolfenstein game for $10.
Ooh, that one.
What?
I have that game.
Is it good?
My wife and I played it together. We did like the first hour, and then we just haven't had time to play it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. So it's a 2-player game?
Yeah, one player. So we just kept trading off.
Oh, I got you.
So she just wanted to shoot Nazis. So
yeah, I've heard it's a really good game, and I've heard Wolfenstein 2 is really good. So I wanted to play the first one to get to the second one. So I'm gonna check it out. But anyway, Xbox Live, they're having a big sale. Get over there, pick up some games. They got a bunch for under $10. But and then lastly, our last news story of the night. Not really a news story, just kind of a letting you know what's going on. The Aquaman movie, if you haven't seen that, you definitely should, is kicking the shit out of the box office right now. It is currently over $800 million. It is projected to possibly break $1 billion this weekend. This will only be the third weekend it's been out, and $1 billion is incredible. I mean, it's been out for a couple weeks, I guess, worldwide before. It's been out, I think, worldwide for about 4 weeks, but $1 billion, man. It's keeping pace with Wonder Woman in North America, and it's crushing overseas. So this could easily be, $1.5 billion movie, which is great considering everybody predicted the end of the DC universe as we know it. Apparently, Aquaman was like, yeah, bro, I got it.
Guy that talks to fish in the water.
Dude, he does, and he even does the whoa, 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 whoa when he's talking to him. He goes like this, and like circles come out of his head, and he goes whoa, 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 whoa.
Oh, really? That's how they do it?
It's amazing! Dude,
Cool.
He calls narwhals. The unicorns of the sea, and they fucking kill Atlanteans.
That sounds awesome.
Forget sharks, he calls narwhals. It's amazing.
There's my dog.
We're gonna talk about Aquaman later on in the show. Actually, pretty much right now. Rounding up, Mary Poppins has done pretty well. It's made a few $100 million worldwide. Bumblebee is actually doing pretty good. It did not have the huge opening with it that they'd hoped for with Transformers movie, but it had only a 5% drop weekend to weekend, which is really good. Means people are very interested. It went from looking like it might only make $50-60 million to looking like it's going to be, probably $150 million in North America and maybe $400 or $500 million overseas. So still is not open in China yet, which is a huge market for giant robots in disguise. So we shall see. But also Spider-Man Into the Universe, SpiderVerse, I think is sitting around $200-300 million worldwide, which is doing really well as well. So we have a good crop of movies in theaters right now that you can go see. I've seen Aquaman, I've seen Bumblebee. I would highly recommend both of them.
Yeah, both of my kids really want to see Into the Spider-Verse. So my daughter is super curious about why is there a pig Spider-Man? And then
it's not a pig, it's Spider-Ham.
Well, I know. I tell her Spider Ham. She's like, I want to see this movie.
Well, people get confused too with Spider Pig from The Simpsons. It's not Spider Pig, it's Spider Ham. Everybody, just
Homer Simpson has very much complicated Spider Ham.
Yeah, I would have gone to see Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse already, but my kids bailed on me and went and saw it with their grandpa. What a bunch of jerks. Yeah. So I'm trying to find time to go see it, but
you get revenge on them.
But right? Yeah, but by all everything I'm hearing, it's worth seeing. So if you want to go see a movie, there's a few good ones out there, and I've heard Mary Poppins is really good. I just haven't had time to go see that one either. So that's probably going to be more of a home video release than an actual go to the theater and see it. So, all right, well, that is all the news we got, I believe. Let me double check. Checking.
Check. Checkity check.
Yeah. Bird Box, which we're going to talk about, apparently had 45 million people watch it in the first week, which is a Netflix record.
Yeah, but Netflix, I mean, is that really true?
You know what? I don't even care. Oh yeah, we did have one more story. I don't even give a shit. We're gonna review Bird Box after the show. You're gonna want to watch that when we do it. Last quick story we got for you guys is the Ruby Rose Batwoman that was kind of shoehorned into the Arrowverse crossover this year. Long rumor they were going to do the plot. Well, they put the plot together, or the pilot. They put the pilot together. CW watched it and said we like it, and apparently it's going to it's a go at CW. So we're going to get a Batwoman show coming real soon to CW.
Well, I for one am very excited for that.
Yeah, me too. I liked her. I liked her in the crossover, and I think she's gonna. I think it'll be a good show. I think it'll be a good addition to the CW, and they definitely do a little bit of a different tone with Gotham. So I'm kind of excited to see what they do going forward. So, all right. So that wraps up our news, our Christmas, what we've been up to, Christmas, New Year's, and now we're going into the meat and potatoes at 40 minutes into the show.
Yes.
Whatever. You know what? You guys didn't get a show last week. This one might be a little bit longer. So me and Ryan thought it'd be pretty fun to talk about the things that we liked about 2018. We get questions all the time like, hey, should we watch this? What do you guys think about this? Did you like this? So we figured we'd kind of put them all together. I told Ryan to make a top 10 list, and they made like a top 50 list. So we should have everything covered.
It doesn't surprise me that Brian's like, hey, let's do it this way. And then right before the show starts, and be like, well, okay, so Brian, I did all the stuff, and then you come out and you say, oh, that's great. So I did this thing instead, and now you look like you're really underprepared, and I have all this extra stuff. So
Ryan, I'm sorry that you just
doesn't surprise me at this point.
I was an A+ student, Ryan. I was always an overachiever. It's not my fault. You just skate by with the bare minimum. I don't know what to tell you.
No, I had 23 something at one point, and I just kept deleting things until I whittled it down to 11.
Well, whatever. Well, I'm sure we're going to talk about many of the things that you whittled off your list. So, how do you want to do this? Do you want to do categories? Do you want to... What do you want to do?
I have my category. I have Netflix, movies, TV, and books.
All right, so... we can break that. I got some more. The books, if you want to lead with the books, I was very disappointed in myself. I only read 3 books last year, which is not nearly enough. I usually read anywhere from 5 to 10 books a year. I don't know exactly what happened in 2018. Now, I did read a Stephen King book that was like 1,500 pages, which was a lot.
I mean, yes, that counts for like 5 other books.
Yeah, so, but I want to get back to reading more books. I'm currently trying to dive into this new Dan Brown book, Origin. I'm a couple hundred pages into it. So far, pretty good book. I got Ready Player One for Christmas. I'm excited to read that one. We're going to talk about the movie later in the show, but I'm excited to read Ready Player One. We also got the Maze Runner series and the Percy Jackson series for Christmas, so... my goal this year is to definitely read a lot more books than I read. So, you read a lot of books last year. What was your favorite book from last year? What do you have on your list? Favorite books from last year?
Last year was the first time I read the Patrick Rothfuss Kingkiller Chronicles, which is The Name of the Wind, A Wise Man's Fear, and he's currently working on the 3rd book, but he did put out a novella. Oh God, I can't remember the name of it, but he just put out a short novella. But people compare him to George R.R. Martin. Mm-hmm. He's been working on his 3rd book for 7 years, and stuff like that. And they're like, well, just finish it. But it's really good. It's kind of like high fantasy. The storytelling in it is very different than what you normally would get. His main character does a lot of music and stuff like that, but just very, it was done in a very cool way. So I read that series for the first time, the first 2 books. I read the first 3 books for The Expanse, after, getting hooked in on the show and knowing that there's going to be a long gap between from the moving to the Amazon platform. Mm-hmm. So I read the first 3 books in The Expanse. Book 1 and season 1 of The Expanse are like practically page for page, is frame for frame on the show.
Oh, okay.
2, nice. It kind of separates a little bit. Book 3, not like the 3rd season of the show. Some elements are the same. Very much, a lot of it not.
All right, so check out The Expanse. I might have to read those one of these days.
Yeah, they're really, 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 really good as science fiction. And then the last book that I read was the book that I read at the very, very beginning in December, because I got it for a Christmas present. It was the Graveyard book by Neil Gaiman. It's a book about a young boy who grew up in a graveyard with ghosts, that
That's
like
cool.
top 10.
I want to read Stardust. I love that movie, and I heard the book is a lot different. I'd like to read the book. Didn't you read
Wait.
American Gods too?
On the Graveyard Book?
Well, no, just Neil Gaiman in general. He wrote Stardust.
Yeah, read the Graveyard Book. I read it, and then I gave it to my son, and he said he's going to try and read it soon. But he's got, just tons of books that he's trying to get through. But it's really cool.
Nice.
So, those were the three that I had whittled down my books to. So.
Yeah, I read 1968. I think the Stephen King book. It was all right. Whatever.
The JFK.
Yeah, the one where the guy goes back in time. It is a magnum opus. It is like a 1,500-page story that is just all over the place. It was an all right book. Took way too long to get through. It drug.
Miniseries. We got through. I think we still had 2 episodes left, and we just stopped watching.
The book just drug and drug. It was not bad, but it was definitely a chore to kind of read that whole entire thing. So
that's the worst.
Yeah, it wasn't a page. It wasn't the pace was so slow that you could pick it up, read 10 pages, but you never felt like you needed to go back and read 10 more in a hurry. This Dan Brown book I'm currently reading, that's probably the newest book I've bought in, Origin. It's much more of a page turner. It's a Dan Brown book. I mean, it's like boom, boom, boom. I read another Dan Brown book last year, Digital Fortress. I kind of go through this phase where I will like, you know what? I want to get all the books from this author, and I realized I really like Da Vinci Code and Inferno, and I kind of like the Dan Brown book. So I realized there was a bunch I hadn't read yet. So I read Digital Fortress, good book. It was his first book. You could tell it was his first book, but it was entertaining. And then I'm on Origin. Origin's much more of a page turner, so I'm trying to whittle through that one. My favorite book from last year though was probably Artemis. I did a review on the show. From Andy Weir, the guy who wrote The Martian, and is basically chronicling, it's about 30 years in the future. We have a colony on, Earth has a colony on Mars, or on the moon, and it's kind of basically like a murder mystery on the moon. It's pretty cool book. So I would highly recommend checking that one out.
Yeah, I forgot to put that one on my Christmas list. I was going to do that.
Yeah.
I wanted to read it.
Yeah, Artemis. Artemis, good book. Very good book. I believe they're working on the movie currently as we speak, but if you like audiobooks, Rosario Dawson reads as the main character in the book. So, pretty good book. If you like that one, that would be the one I recommend from last year that I read. I'll let you guys know about Origin when I'm done. And like I said, I got a lot more books I'm going to try and read this year. But anyway, that would be my best of 2018. So, sorry if you're a giant book person. This may not be the what you're looking for here. All right, moving on. Let's get to real quick, I want to kind of do best worst of 2018. So was there anything that you read that was so terrible that you wouldn't recommend?
In books form?
Yeah.
I read, I feel bad to say this. So there's Isaac Asimov is one of those classic science fiction writers, wrote, in the 70s or whatever. And we were at a book sale at a library, and they had the whole Foundation, the whole Foundation series, which is supposed to be like, people say like, these are the greatest science fiction books of all time. I mean,
he's had a ton of movies based on his stories.
Yeah, I Am Robot, and is based off, something, Cages of Steel or whatever.
You combined multiple movies right there. It's iRobot. You combined I Am Legend with iRobot because they're both Will Smith movies. I know how your brain works.
Oh,
iRobot. Yeah, it's a great movie.
Yes. But, so I read the first Foundation book, and I did not like it at all. And I have no desire to read the other 4 books that I picked up that go with it.
Sometimes it's hard to go back and read the classics, man. I tried to read Lord of the Rings, and man, I could not get into the book at all.
Yeah.
It's so hard. Everyone keeps telling me you just got to get into it, but I read the first 100 pages of the Lord of the Rings, and I'm like, what is this?
Like, I'm just gonna watch the movie.
I did watch the extended editions finally of the 3 movies.
Oh really?
Yeah, me and the wife that's what we binge watched through the holidays. We basically treated it like it was a TV show and watched like an hour and 20 minutes at a time because it's 12 and a half hours to get through those 3 movies.
Yeah, that's a big time investment.
But we did it. We blew through it. And I have to say, it was it's weird. It's a weird thing. So it makes the movies better, but it dives almost too much into the universe. So even though you feel like the movie's more complete, you now feel like there's much bigger world that you don't know about even.
Yeah, well, that's kind of happens when you read the books. The books.
Yeah.
He really like Tolkien was more like he didn't really write a story. He kind of wrote like
a universe, yeah.
Like a history book, and
Yeah.
with the assumption that you kind of know like everything that's going on.
Well, and that's definitely the way that the extended. So they did.
Oh yeah, all these elves live down here, and you're like,
Well, and that's kind of the way the extended editions were. So like when you watch the original movies, you feel like a really good movie that's missing a few plot points. And so when you watch the extended editions, you end up getting those plot points, but then you feel like you're missing part of a bigger universe, right? It's I don't know, it's pick your poisons, but we did enjoy them. All right, so moving on, let's move to TV. We'll do movies last because I got a few different categories for movies, but TV. So what were some of the best? I know you had Netflix. It's funny, I have all my best new shows, all the best shows that I watched this year. All of them were on Netflix with the exception of one, so we'll talk about that one first. That one was on Amazon, and you probably know what I'm talking about.
The Man in the High Castle.
No, Jack Ryan.
Oh yeah. Oh.
I am trying to get through Man in the High Castle season 3. I very much love the show and I enjoy it a lot, but the pacing has slowed to almost a crawl, and now they're just building a bigger universe, and so it's not must watch. I almost kind of wish the show was week to week now, because you could get excited a week. It's hard to binge watch season 3.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But Jack Ryan. I think Jack Ryan for me might have been the best new show of 2018. I know other people, it's not going to be on anybody else's categories because it's not the best acted or the best scripted. I mean, but just overall, most entertaining show, and I thought it was great performances. I love the story. I love a good spy thriller, and Jack Ryan crushed it. I mean, I watched that all 8, 9, 10 episodes in like 2 days.
I'm gonna have to tell my wife in the morning because we were talking about it. We were going back and forth. Like, God, I feel like we're forgetting something.
Yeah.
She's like, I feel like we're forgetting something too. And we were just like going back and forth about, like.
I knew you had when you said all your shows, when you said Netflix, and I'm like, he forgot Jack Ryan.
Yeah, and so yeah, that was. I'm gonna have to agree with you. I would put that in my top 3.
Yeah,
easily in my top 3. Like pushing aside like any category, any of like the whole year, not just TV, but like the whole year.
It was if I had a top 10 list of best things I saw in 2018, Jack Ryan would be on it. It was that good of a show. It is literally worth subscribing to Amazon Prime just to watch it. It is so good. It is so. John Krasinski crushes it as Jack Ryan. Just crushes it.
It was the only show my wife and I think we watched like 5 hours in one sitting.
Yeah, it is such a good show. But one of the best spy thrillers I've ever seen. They do a good job of taking basically what in essence is an 8-hour movie and and breaking it up to parts. It's genre film at its shows at its best, and I absolutely loved it. It was by far for me my favorite new show of 2018.
It really shows that like something that could have made they probably could have made that 2.5 hour movie. Mm-hmm. It really shows that what you can do if you really just give it 8 hours to just kind of breathe and to do like this whole plot. Because like in the movie they probably would not have done as much of the stuff to make you connect to the bad guy as to why he became who he was. Because the movie would have had to cut all that stuff out just to try and get in on the action and everything like that.
Exactly. So, loved it. Great. Like I said, it felt like a movie. Good acting, great directors, good content in general, and I'm really excited for season 2. My second favorite new show of 2018 was Altered Carbon, another show on Netflix, a very high concept sci-fi show that took a little bit to get into because there was a lot of world building, but by about episode 3, man, that show just... It was everything that I think Blade Runner wanted to be, but way more entertaining with kung fu, lots of nudity, and just gunfights all day long.
And to show you just how much we are in tune, Brian, I had 8 or 10 Netflix shows. I whittled it down to 2. Altered Carbon was still my first one.
Yes!
So
this is why we're friends, Ryan. Yeah, so new show. My favorite new show was Jack Ryan, but my favorite new one from Netflix was Altered Carbon. For me, I think it's a show I don't think you've watched yet. My third favorite show, another favorite show, was another Netflix series, Sabrina, The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Watched it with my wife. It's a much more darker take on the comic book material. It is not the half-hour comedy that Melissa Joan Hart made, and it's a lot of fun. It's kind of a cross between Buffy the Vampire Slayer and The Exorcist, and I really enjoyed it. I had a good time with it.
From my list of stuff that I whittled it down to 2. I said Altered Carbon was my other one. My second one for Netflix, I went with The Christmas Chronicle.
Oh yeah, well that's not a TV show.
We watched that.
That's not a TV show. We're talking TV shows. But then movies.
I was on Netflix.
Did you have any? Okay, so here, tell you what. We're going to name shows. So think about your favorite shows. I know I kind of put you in a spot.
I'll go down to my shows that were not Netflix.
Go down to your shows and not Netflix. While you're looking, my next favorite new show, because we got a couple of returning shows, but my next favorite new show was Titans on the DC Universe app. It was hit and miss at times. It's not the strongest show that I watched this season, but I really, really liked how DC really went for it. Gave us something completely new, much more violent, much more adult. It's much more of a show that you would find on Netflix than on the CW, but they stuck really true to the DC universe, and I really enjoyed it. I thought the acting was good. I thought the writing and direction was good. And even though there was some misses in the first season, we got 11 episodes, and I'd say probably 7 or 8 of them were really good. There was a few kind of in there. But I thought what they did well was really well, and I'm very excited for the future of the show. I mean, it was DC Universe's first show too, so.
Yeah, I gotten through the first. I think I'm still on the Jason. I haven't watched the Jason Todd episode yet. Okay. I'm on that one. I just haven't had time.
They do an Elseworlds for the season finale. They do an Elseworlds where Batman becomes a psychotic murderer and kills everybody, and it's awesome. Okay. They literally send like the National Guard after him. It's crazy.
Jeez.
I'm telling you, you got to watch it. All right, next new show that I really enjoyed was
I'm going to say I did have one of my wife and I's new favorite TV show that came in 2018 was the Good Place from NBC. I don't know.
No, that's been out since 2016.
No,
The Good Place is on season 3 already.
No, The Good Place is on season 2.
It is on season 3 because I just saw it on Netflix. They have 3 seasons on Netflix, and it's an ABC show.
They're only on season 2. They just started season 2.
Let's go to the Netflix, Ryan. Just because I want to prove you wrong because I was just looking at it. Go ahead and talk about The Good Place while I'm looking up and why you're wrong.
But The Good Place, it's super funny. My wife and I are really enjoying it. It's Ted Danson. You know, he's a demon.
Right. I was wrong. You were right. Son of a bitch. 2 seasons.
2 seasons? Yeah, I was right. Because the second season just started. So, 2018, The Good Place from NBC. Great new show. You should be watching it. It's got, oh my God, Dax Shepard's wife. I can't say her name right now. Elsa.
Yeah, do you want to build a snowman? Christy Swanson.
Yes. Whatever.
Kristen Bell.
Yeah, Kristen Bell. It's a great show. She's super funny in it. And it's about these people that, they died and they went to the good place, which is, it's either you go to the good place or the bad place, which is basically, heaven and hell.
Yeah. But doesn't she go to the wrong place and she's like, should have gone to the bad place, but she ends up in the good place?
She should have gone to the bad place, but she went to the good place by accident.
All right. And, yeah. I've heard it's amazing. It's a show that I've added to my list. I need to watch on Netflix. But yeah, definitely. All right.
On Netflix, though,
it's on Netflix. It's an ABC show, but you can get the first 2 seasons on Netflix.
Okay.
All right, moving on, because if we break down everything, I think we're going to run out of time because I have a lot of stuff here. So we'll start speeding it up here real quick. Show that I watched, I believe you watched, another great new show on Netflix, Haunting of Hill House. Haunting of Hill House. Great new show on Netflix. Basically follows a family who lived in a haunted house and basically how it affected them through their lives. Fantastic family drama, pretty good ghost story. Highly recommend it on Netflix right now. What do you got next for your next TV show? We'll go back and forth until we.
It's not a new show, but it was the series finale, series ending for Adventure Time on the Cartoon Network.
So series is over?
Yeah, it's over. There's the last batch, came out in. September.
I don't think we need to talk too much. Adventure Time's been on for a long time. If you don't know what it is, hop on it now. You can watch the complete series, probably on Hulu. Or
you can watch the whole thing on Hulu. And the episodes are typically 11 to 12 minutes long. And
I gotta watch Rick and Morty. That reminds me.
You can go through a whole season in 2 hours. But it's just super random, silly, funny stuff that's for kids, but they do have a lot of adult elements that kids obviously won't pick up on. And I've loved the show from the beginning. My kids never got into it, but I loved it. And then they had the series finale, and it was very fitting end to the series.
Right. Well, there you go. Adventure Time. Watch the complete series on Hulu right now. All right, my next new show. Well, it wasn't really a new show. I got two shows that I really enjoyed the second and third seasons of. I'll just back-to-back them. Both on Netflix. Daredevil Season 3, Iron Fist Season 2. Daredevil Season 3, I think, was the strongest season maybe ever on Daredevil. I mean, it was such a good... I'm still pissed they canceled it.
That they canceled it.
Don't let the fact, if you haven't watched it, don't let the fact that they canceled the series shy you away. You can watch 1, 2, and 3 and still feel like you've watched a completed series. It doesn't end on a cliffhanger. It definitely ends in a way that can expand the show, but it doesn't end on a cliffhanger. And it's some of the best. Forget that it's a comic book show. Just watch it as a good drama, and it's a great show. Especially season 3 really dealt with a lot of personal issues and like issues of who are we and what is our journey in life. It's just a really good season. I really recommend it. Iron Fist Season 2, much better than Season 1, infinitely better than Season 1, and I'm really also kind of sad they canceled it because the way that show ended, Iron Fist guns and iron katana blades. I'm still mad they canceled it, but still, once again, good series. Season 2 is great. Season 1, not for everybody. I enjoyed it, but I understand why people didn't, so I would check that out. But all right, you got anything else on TV shows, or should we move to the worst of TV?
My last TV was 2 shows that my wife and I kind of jumped. We started. They were already on like their 3rd season on both of them, but we just started from the beginning because we had a new launching point. We watched Outlander.
Okay.
The show on Starz that's based on the book series that's largely for adult women, but there is a surprising amount of sex in it.
Just tell me, do they ever tell how she manages to jump through time?
Yes.
Oh, well, maybe I'll watch it then. Is there a DeLorean involved?
They figured that out by the end of the 1st season, like how she teleported.
Is there a DeLorean or a phone?
There is a stone.
A phone box? Oh, that's
kind of like Stonehenge, and you gotta have like a jewel, like a precious gem.
Okay, whatever. I don't care. I've heard good things about it.
It's a decent show. It's a good show to watch with your wife, and a lot of nudity in it, and
check it out.
And then we watched. We also got started on Poldark. That's on PBS, kind of in the same vein. British show, and British show after 1776. A guy that came back from the British forces losing after the war and trying to rebuild his family's copper mine.
All right.
So It's a decent show. It's all right. So
Sounds terrible. Speaking of things that are terrible, Ryan, moving on to the worst TV that we watched this year. We're not going to spend too much time on it. I made a short list. I don't know if you made any list of worst shows.
Not do any, because if it was a crappy show, we did not watch it past
so
one episode.
I'm going to name them off, and if you got something to say, let me know. The Walking Dead.
I quit on that show.
I'm still watching it, but I don't know why. I'm so bored, and I didn't give a shit that Rick died and then didn't die and flew away in a helicopter. Spoiler alert.
When Carl died, that was when I quit the show.
The show should be called The Walking Boring is what it should be called, because they walk around and bore you to death. All right, next one. Speaking of boring shows, I know a lot of people love this show, and it's not bad, like poorly acted or written, but it's so slow. I could not get into it. The Terror. Loosely based on the real life story of a couple English barges, explorer ships that were frozen and lost, and they all died in the Antarctic. In this, there's like a man monster bear that eats people. It's 10 episodes of like the slow demise of men going mentally crazy, and I got 5 in, and I can't do this anymore. Well acted, but they all had like super British. And sometimes it was really hard to even understand what anybody was saying. And if you like to watch 10 hours of men going to their limits and slowly going mad, well, then this is the show for you. And watching people get their toes chopped off because of frostbite. Ugh. Yeah, could not do it. AMC, The Terror. Jessica Jones Season 2. I did not think Jessica Jones could get any worse. I know some people love Season 1, but Season 2 was the biggest load of horse crap I've ever seen, and it was terrible. And I'm mad at myself that I finished all 13 episodes.
It makes me feel better that I didn't even give it a chance. So I didn't even have to suffer.
I didn't even really like Season 1. The Purple Man was great, but I didn't like a lot of Season 1. But at least it was entertaining. So I gave Season 2 a shot. And honestly, first like 3 or 4 episodes, I'm texting Ryan, I'm like, yeah, this is actually pretty good. And then it was like,
complete explosion in the crap.
Oh my god. It was, the last 3 episodes, probably hot pokers in the ears would have been better than watching that show. Next show on the list, which is sad for me to say, Star Wars Resistance, the new animated show. Star Wars Rebels ended earlier this year, and it was fantastic. One of the better shows I've seen animated-wise. Great characters, good story arcs, amazing Star Wars lore. Then we got Star Wars Resistance, which is more to 2D animation. Looked pretty, but oh my god, is it boring. They say it's for kids, but I tried watching it with my kids, and even they didn't want to watch more than 5 minutes of it. Just
reminds me that this has been a Star Wars show that's been on, and you haven't mentioned it one time.
Unlikable characters, stupid situations. I don't give a crap. Every now and then they throw in somebody from The Force Awakens, and even that is not like, I'm just like, I don't care. This show is terrible. It is so bad. I honestly cannot believe. I know they're trying to reach a younger audience, but what they need to understand is younger audiences aren't stupid, and they understand what good entertainment is these days.
Yeah.
I would put Resistance up with Ewoks and Star Wars droids on the old school animation. It looks pretty, but it's fucking terrible.
Wow.
And I love Star Wars. I'm in the bag for this stuff, all right? Like, oof. Anyway, all right, moving on. The last show that I had under Worst Show TV of 2018 was, sadly, Castle Rock. Was amazing. I loved it until the end. It gave you this giant like mystery, and at the end, let you make your own conclusions, which is absolute horseshit. Do not ask me to invest 10 hours of my time and not give me anything.
Sounds like a certain movie that we might be talking about later.
Oh, Bird Box? Fuck that movie, too.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, we're going to be talking about that in the after show. So, anyway, that's my worst TV of the year. We'd love to know what you guys, if we missed any new shows or anything that you guys really loved in 2018 and what you thought was really bad in 2018. So, all right, moving on. Let's see. Let's hit movies.
This is a tough one because this one...
All right, so I'm going to try and categorize these so we can blow through them. So I'm going to try and categorize them real quick so we can blow through them. And let's not spend too much time.
Mine down to 2. So I had
Infinity
War and Incredibles 2.
Okay, well, hang on. Here's what we're gonna do. I've got my list. So let me go through my list. We'll do them together, and then if I don't have one that you do, you just go ahead and hop in and add it in. So I'm gonna let's go for our favorite movies of the year, and then at the very end, after we do disappointing, we'll do our. Well, here, tell you what. Let's do our. Do you want to do disappointing or favorite first?
Let's get the disappointing out of the way.
Okay, so here's what I have for most disappointing. We're not going to do any genre or anything. We're just going to go most disappointing, period. All right. My number one most disappointing movie of the year for me was fucking Venom. I was so excited to watch that movie. I didn't get a chance to see it in theaters, and then I finally got on where you could rent it, and I spent $6 or $7 renting it on HD. I was all excited. And it was a big steaming pile of crap. It was terrible. I do not know why this movie made so much money. I do not know why so many of my friends who I trust love this movie. And I got into an argument with somebody because I actually believe Spider-Man 3 is a better Venom movie than this pile of shit.
That makes me feel bad because I know that you really wanted this to be like a crap test.
I was so excited to see it.
I wanted it to be that, that it was just on the border of being,
Yes. Does it look like Venom? Yes. It looks much more like Venom than Spider-Man 3. Yes. Is Tom Hardy infinitely better as Eddie Brock than Topher Grace? Yes. But this movie makes no sense. It's terribly acted. The script is crap. It feels like it's missing an hour of the movie. And it just doesn't make any sense. Like, it's so stupid. Like, sometimes Venom talks to Eddie in his head, but then sometimes he turns in and, like, stares at him and looks at him. Why would you do that if you could talk to him in your head? And he has to eat people.
They gotta have the CGI come out.
Oh, dude, it's just stupid. It's stupid. It's a dumb movie. There's a couple lines of dialogue that did make me laugh, and there's a couple things I did enjoy. I enjoyed Tom Hardy and Venom kind of back and forth, but overall, I was so disappointed. I was so excited for this. I was really hopeful that maybe we could get another Spider. I love Spider-Man. I grew up on Spider-Man and Venom, and I was really hoping that we could maybe get another universe that I'd be excited about, and it was just garbage. Absolute garbage.
Yeah, but it made $1 billion, so it's going anywhere.
Okay, here's a spoiler, and it's not even a spoiler. So at the very end of the movie, they tease Carnage. If anybody knows what Venom is, you know what Carnage is. And Woody Harrelson's going to play Carnage, which is awesome. And so the murder, Cassius Cassidy, he's a psychopath. So for some reason, the teaser is Eddie Brock has to go talk to him, right? And so he's got some interview with him for God knows what reason. So he goes to interview this serial killer, and he looks at him and he says, "All I know is this cage can't keep me." And he's got the worst wig you've ever seen. You ever seen that movie Annie? If Annie grew up and became a man serial killer, that's what it would look like. Woody Harrelson sitting there with this red curly wig on his head, and he goes, "This cage can't hold me, and when I get out, there shall be carnage." And that's how it ends. I'm like, oh, sweet Jesus.
That's pretty bad.
It's bad. It's so bad. And it's meant to make people excited. Who wrote this? Whoever wrote this should never be allowed to write another movie again. Ever.
Well, and whoever had only a bright red clown wig.
Oh, dude, it's so bad. It's terrible. It's by far, for me, the most... Is it the worst movie I've seen? No, but combine it with how excited I was for it, it's the worst. It's the most disappointing / worst movie I saw this year.
I had the assumption that Carnage was going to be the big teaser. It was the most obvious teaser. So
yeah. I mean, it's cool they didn't put him in this movie. I understand why, but Riot is just a stupid... I mean, it's a dumb movie. Whatever. I won't spend more time on it. All right, next movie I got from... It was not worst movie, but disappointing was Rampage with The Rock. We talked about The Rock earlier. I was really excited to see Rampage, and I thought it had all the... I mean, it had the just making of a craptastic gem, and it just was dumb.
Yeah. The best part of the movie was the gorilla, so...
Yeah, it was the gorilla, and it just wasn't even that much fun. It was just kind of stupid.
Yeah, and if you want to catch our full review on it, it's you can see our Craptastic on our YouTube page. So.
Yep. Another movie that I felt I was kind of disappointed with was Pacific Rim 2.
I just watched that one recently for the first time, and
it's not bad, but it's not even really interesting. It's kind of just, at least the first movie. I mean, these are craptastic movies. Original Pacific Rim was at least fun. It was a fun movie that was kind of dumb. This wasn't not fun. It just was kind of slow and boring, honestly. For a movie that had a lot of robots and you just didn't give a shit. You're just like, whatever.
Well, and you could really guess as to what was going to happen very easily once you kind of got like the basic idea of what was happening. So
yeah, my next movie that was a disappointment for me was Deadpool 2. Good movie, kind of, but
disappointed in this?
Yeah, I mean, considering have you seen Deadpool 2 yet?
Yeah, I saw it.
Considering how great this is for me. Considering how great Deadpool 1 was and how much carte blanche they had to do whatever they wanted to, I really felt like
Deadpool's bar was way down here.
I know, but it was so good on a smaller budget, and the next movie not only wasn't better than the first one, it wasn't even more interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, I would watch Deadpool 1 over Deadpool 2 100 times. Like, it's not even an option. I mean, Deadpool 1 is such a better movie than Deadpool 2.
Yeah, that's true. If I think about it and I had a choice between, I had to only watch one or two, I would watch the first one.
And honestly, Cable, you wouldn't even have known he was a mutant if you didn't know who Cable was. I just thought they didn't do a very good job with Cable. They didn't do a very good job with Juggernaut and a few of the other X-Men in this. It was funny. I enjoyed it, and this is by no means a bad movie. This is my most disappointing and worst movies. This is, for me, Deadpool 2 was a disappointment. It had so much going for it where it could just be great, and it was good, but it wasn't. It didn't even, like I said, didn't even hit the level of the first Deadpool movie, in my opinion. But anyway, a movie for worst movie of the year is Wrinkle in Time, the Disney movie that I was forced to watch with my daughter. I knew nothing about this. Apparently, it's a beloved child's novel, and the movie is damn near unwatchable. It's so boring with characters you just don't even give a shit about, and it's supposed to feel magical, and it just feels stupid.
Yeah, we almost watched it over Christmas break, and now I'm glad we didn't.
It is so boring. I mean, I'm just sitting here going, like, why? This movie is so bad.
Did your daughter like it?
Yeah, my oldest liked it, but I can tell how much they like something by how much they watch it, and it's free on Netflix, and they've maybe watched it twice.
Yeah, that's a pretty good indication.
So they hardly ever, they're at that age where they don't really like to say bad things about stuff, so everything's good, but you could tell they were not a big fan of this one. And then my last movie that I was, I got three more actually. Movie I was disappointed with, Ant-Man and the Wasp. The original Ant-Man was one of my favorite Marvel movies, and I felt like Ant-Man and the Wasp was just a movie. It wasn't that great. Most of the best scenes they showed in the trailer, and honestly, most of the time I forget. I have yet to watch it since we got it on video, and I don't even know if I will. It's definitely a one and done. You watch it once, you're like, whatever, and move on. Considering how good Marvel's been with their movies, it was disappointment that it was so lackluster.
Just put on the movie and fast forward all the way to the end, so you find out what happened with Ant-Man at the Infinity War.
The Quantum Realm. I mean, that's pretty much pretty much. So, man, this is going to be a really long episode. Sorry, everybody, bear with us. We're still going through stuff here. All right. And then lastly, my most hated movie of 2018 was Annihilation with Natalie Portman. Me and my wife paid money to go sit at a nice theater and watch this, and we were bored out of our minds and left the theater going, what the fuck was that?
I thought that one got a lot of, good...
It is. Most people have it on their list of best movies of 2018. They're all full of shit. That movie is stupid. It is fucking stupid.
Isn't there one they're like gorillas or something that are...
It's look at man's inner psyche and inner self. It's one of those really artsy... It's like some stupid hippie got $100 million to make a movie and made an internal sci-fi look at your soul and man's duality. Fuck that shit. I want to see some shit blow up and some shit happen.
Oh, it's one of those kind of movies.
Yes, it's stupid and I hated it.
Yeah.
And the best part is, they once again leave the ending up to your own personal interpretation.
Yeah. Oh, no.
You know what? You make a movie, you're not making a painting. You want to be an artist, you want somebody to look at something, then fucking paint something.
Yeah.
Stupid. Whatever. Annihilation. Pile of crap. I'll fight every critic because all of you fuckers love this movie and I don't give a shit. It's terrible. All right, moving on. Favorite movies of the year. So, real quick before we get to the best movies of the year, I also have I have our best craptastic movies of the year category, considering we do these kind of movies. So I had 3. I figure we can vote on them real quick: The Predator, The Meg, and Skyscraper with The Rock.
I didn't think The Meg. You can see our craptastic on it. Yes. Did we do Skyscraper?
No, we did not do Skyscraper. I don't think you've seen that one yet.
Or is that?
I'm going to say, because I don't think you've seen most of these movies, I'm going to say my favorite craptastic movie of the year was The Predator. It is clearly a big steaming pile of shit, but...
It's on my list.
But I enjoyed the hell out of it, and I think it's funny as fuck. So if you look at this movie like it has nothing to do with the other Predator movies and it's an action comedy, I think you'll really enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. All right, yeah. And then best horror movie. I only watched 2 horror movies this year, Happy Death Day and A Quiet Place. Did you watch any horror movies this year?
0 horror movies.
So of those 2, I will say A Quiet Place is probably the better movie, but Happy Death Day is actually really fun. So if you like horror movies, but you don't like to be grossed out, but you like to see an entertaining horror movie, I highly recommend Happy Death Day. The sequel's coming out this year. Watch it. You'll really enjoy it. Let's see here. I had best comedies. I only had 1 comedy on my list that I really enjoyed this year, and it was Cock Blockers. One of the funniest movies I've ever seen. So funny. It's on HBO right now.
From like a rando conversation, I've had 2 other co-workers talking about the movie, and they said they were saying basically the same thing that you were saying. They weren't expecting it to be as funny as it was.
Yeah.
And they just enjoyed the hell out of it.
It's technically called Blockers, not Cock Blockers, but they put a big rooster on the poster, so it's Cock Blockers. It is one of the funniest movies. I wanted to watch Game Night. I heard Game Night is another amazing comedy. I didn't get a chance to watch it yet, so I've heard that's good, though, so I'll put that on the list. But my favorite comedy of the year is Blockers. Available now to stream on HBO. All right, let's go to best animated movie of the year. We have a couple nominees. We have we're going to exclude Spider-Man Into the SpiderVerse since we have not seen it. Neither one of us has seen it yet. I have heard that is the best one, but of the ones I've seen, I have The Incredibles 2 and I have Teen Titans Go to the Movie.
Yeah, I had both of those on my list, and I only took Teen Titans Go to Movies off because we've watched The Incredibles 2 more.
I'm going to actually go with Teen Titans Go to the Movie because I as much as I really did enjoy The Incredibles, I felt like it was it was like an updated remake of The Incredibles 1.
Yeah, that's pretty true. And Teen Titans Go to the Movies, I mean...
It is one of the most original animated movies you're ever going to watch.
Yeah, it was basically like the show, but they just like, how can we ramp this up a little bit?
It was so funny, but either one of those is a winner.
My kids still walk around and they go, Slay! Duh! Yeah,
it's so good. My favorite is when they're when they're going to the movies and they have like, Batman goes to the movies. Batman does this. Batman. It's like 15 different Batman sequels. It's great. The movie is not afraid to poke fun at itself, and I really enjoyed that. All right, so let's go to best comic book movie of the year. So I have a couple. I got Aquaman, which unfortunately you haven't seen yet, Black Panther, and Avengers: Infinity War.
Yeah, I had Black Panthers and Avengers Infinity War on that, and I only took off Black Panther just because Infinity Wars was the one that I got to see with my son, and that was actually the first Marvel movie that he had seen. So that one had a little more...
Really? It's the first Marvel movie he's seen? How does that even happen?
The fir's Marvel... He never...
My kids have gone to all of them, except for Iron Man, like 1 and 2.
He's 11 years old, and he'd had zero interest in comic book movies.
All right, fair enough.
Never... But then he saw that one, and he's like, hey, so you said Thor Ragnarok was really funny, right? And I'm like, yeah, it's really good. And he's like, I want to watch it. And so,
well, yeah, I mean, how could was he able to kind of follow the movie considering he hasn't seen anything?
Well, now that he's seen that one, he kind of realizing that he's been missing out
on a lot. Yeah.
So now he wants me to to kind of backtrack him through like all the.
So back to the category though. They were all three. I think they were the three of the best superhero movies of the year. I'm with you. I'd say Avengers: Infinity War because it's such a culmination of 10 years of Marvel movies, and it's just magnificent. Yeah. If I had to go second, I don't know what I would pick second because I think Black Panther was a much more impactful movie, and it had a deeper meaning, and you felt something. But Aquaman was much more entertaining than Black Panther. So I think I'm going to put them 2A and 2B. If you want to see a movie that has a much more depth to it and like has more to the movie than just a movie, Black Panther makes you feel something. Black Panther is that. If you want to see a movie that's just going to blow your mind with epic like fight scenes and underwater insanity, Aquaman is amazing. Highly recommend Aquaman, people. I know I haven't given my official review on the show, but it's amazing. Go watch Aquaman. I mean, it's ridiculous. It is utterly ridiculous. It's like watching The Mummy, but like underwater for 2 hours. It's crazy. It's super good.
I really want to see it.
All right, so kind of last genre movies of the year. I have my favorite genres, and I'm gonna pick out my favorite. My last couple favorite movies of the year. I have Solo, Star Wars Solo, Ready Player One, Mission Impossible 6, Fallout, and Bumblebee is what I have for my favorite movies of the year. So.
Yeah, I had Solo and Ready Player One on there as well. And my son has watched Ready Player One.
And because we're not going to probably get to it, because I told you to wait a minute, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to let you put your Santa Claus movie in this category for favorite movies of the year.
Yeah.
There we go. All right, so what would you say your favorite movie of the year was?
If I had to just do one?
Yeah, I know. This is a tough one because...
movie.
I know it's hard. Honestly, I have four favorite movies. I have 5 favorite movies of the year. My 5 favorite movies are Solo, Ready Player One, Mission Impossible 6, Aquaman. Well, so I got 6: Aquaman, Bumblebee, and Avengers: Infinity War. Those are my 6 favorite movies this year. If I had to go down to just my favorite movie of the year, honestly, it's a toss-up between Solo and Ready Player One. I loved Ready Player One. It was so much fun.
I had Ready Player One, Solo would probably be up in there because my son and I, had a really good time watching it. And but Ready Player One, I mean, I've watched it 3 times now, and I know my son's watched it. I
have watched Solo and Ready Player One 4 times each. I was trying to think of what have I watched the most of. I saw Solo 3 times in the theater.
Yeah.
So I mean, I love Avengers: Infinity War, but it's Mission Impossible 6 Fallout is not to be overlooked. It might be the best action movie I've ever seen. It is so good, but I haven't watched as much because I literally got it for Christmas on Blu-ray. So. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna say I know this is gonna come as a shock because I love Solo so much. I'm a Star Wars fan, but I'm gonna say Ready Player One was my favorite movie of this year. It was so unexpected. It had so many different genres, and it's so much fun. It is just a fun Steven Spielberg movie, and I loved it.
Just wait until you read the book. It's gonna be vastly different, but you'll see why. They did what they did in the movie.
Oh, but I feel like a traitor because Solo is one of my favorite Star Wars movies. I don't know. I thought long and hard about this. I don't know. It's a toss up for me between Solo and Ready Player One. I loved them. It was a good year for genre movies. So, all right, there we go. Moving on. Let's see here. What do we got? So that is everything for 2018. We've gone really long, so I just wanted to mention a couple highs, lows. We could literally have an entire show about these, but. A couple low points of the year was for me, Stan Lee's death was a big one. That kind of sucked, obviously. We lost a legend. A high point was that Disney finally bought Fox, and we are going to get, as much as this may hurt some careers and maybe become a monopoly where Disney eventually owns everything, I'm really excited that Disney's going to get the X-Men back, and the X-Men are one of my favorite things of all time. So I can't wait for Disney to wrap them back into the MCU.
Yeah, and just have Fox stop making bad movies.
Oh God, please! For the love of God, please. A high point for me was how great Star Wars has been. The fact that we're getting TV shows now with Star Wars, all the cool Star Wars news we got Solo, which was a great movie. We're getting Episode 9 coming soon. We're getting TV shows. The Disney Plus streaming service, where we're going to get Star Wars, Marvel, all positive. But on the other side, also Star Wars, Disney's taking the wrong lessons from a lot of angry fans, and they're going to pull back the movies, and we're going to get less movies, and we're not going to get a sequel to Solo. And they looked at Solo as a failure, even though it's really a good movie, because a lot of people didn't like it because of bad marketing and people didn't know what it was. And it's too bad. And my biggest disappointment, I think, of 2018 was the fandom. Just the fandom in general for geek stuff and the fandom for Star Wars in particular really turned and became something that was gross and terrible and not what it should be, right? And for me, that was a huge disappointment. Star Wars has always stood for hope and fun, and you could always talk to somebody and be a Star Wars geek, and you can always, bond over that. And it turned into something hateful and attacking, and if you said, I like The Last Jedi, you get 10 people to tell you you're stupid and should kill yourself, right? It's just...
It's gotten to the point where geek fandom in general is becoming just a cesspool.
It is.
It's becoming because they don't want to see their stuff on the mainstream now, or I have no idea.
Well, I think it started. You kind of reared its head a little bit with. I think it reared its head a little bit with the DC Extended Universe. So much backlash coming to Zack Snyder and for the movies he was making, even though he made some pretty good DC movies. And then I think it hit a pinnacle just with The Last Jedi. I've never seen so much vitriol and hate and just nastiness from people. I mean, we're not even going to talk politics, and I know there's a lot that has to do with it as well, but just the amount of nastiness that people who once supposedly, were in this kind of club where you were like, hey, it wasn't cool to maybe talk about Imperial Star Destroyers, and now it is, and now people have taken that and just... the amount of anti-Rey and anti-anything that has anything to do with female in Star Wars just makes me sick to my stomach. It's just gross. And it's very disappointing. That was by far, as a geek myself, that was by far my biggest disappointment in 2018 is the fact that the geekdom showed its ugly face, and it was nasty, it was gross, and it made me almost not want to do this anymore, to be honest with you.
Well, it's a lot of these people that, it's something that they grew up with as a kid for their specific generation, and it fit them perfectly. As from the time period that it was for their generation to a T, it fit everything that they wanted. The thing is, it's been 30 years, and so they're making these movies for, guess what? They're not making it for your generation anymore. They're making it for the current kid generation. They're not making movies that are specifically for adults. They're trying to make movies for the people that are going to be, alive in the next 30 years. Yeah. So they need to realize that their time has come, and that there's a whole new generation of people that these movies are being more geared for. If you don't like it, that's your prerogative. You don't have to watch these movies.
And guess what? You're right on. You don't have to watch these movies. You know what? We've said it before. If you don't like The Last Jedi, that's absolutely fine. But you don't need to literally dedicate your life to hating anybody who does, right? And maybe Rey's not your hero, but guess what? My 2 daughters love Star Wars, and every time they see Rey, it is the most exciting thing to them, period. So it's their Star Wars, and that's fine. I love Rey too. You don't have to be a girl to like a girl character. Seriously. Fucking get over it.
Holes in 2019 is going to eat you alive. So.
Yeah, so anyway, I don't make resolutions for the most part, but I'm going to make one. I'm done with the bullshit for 2019. If you are stupid and you want to be just stupid, well then fuck off. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
If you don't have anything nice to say, don't fucking open your mouth. That's the way I'm looking at it from now on. All right, so real quick, because it's already late. We won't have to break down each one of these things, but I did make a list of some things I'm excited for. So I'm going to read out my list. If there's anything you're excited for 2019, we'll talk more about this in the upcoming shows. But some things I'm excited for 2019. This Game of Thrones finale. We're gonna see how George R.R. Martin ends his series. Cannot wait. That comes out in April. Stranger Things Season 3, we already touched upon earlier, July. Star Wars Episode 9. Oh my god, I'm so excited to see the end of the Skywalker era. Yeah, right.
2019 is already shaping up.
Oh my god, dude. First of all, Disney, just wait till I'm done with this list. Disney is going to make all the money. Not on my list is Aladdin and Lion King because I'm tired of the live action remakes. I don't give a shit about them. There we go. But they're going to make $1 billion a piece for Disney. Avengers Endgame. So part 2 of Infinity War, and it's going to be amazing. We all know it. And it's going to make $8 billion.
Yes.
Captain Marvel. Very excited for Marvel's very first, after 29 movies, female-led movie. Come on, Marvel. Jesus, get with the program.
Disney is going to make a crap ton of money this year.
I'm not even done with the Disney list. Spider-Man Far From Home. Very excited about that.
That comes out this year, too?
That comes out this year as well. And like I said, on my list is not Aladdin and Lion King or Toy Story 4, which are all going to make $1 billion. Shazam. Excited to see Shazam. Another fun DC movie, yeah. John Wick 3.
Ooh.
Because John Wick is great. It 2, great movie. I know you didn't see it. Glass, the finale for the M. Night Shyamalan superhero trilogy. How to Train Your Dragon 3, which every time I watch the trailer, I'm already in tears, so I'm sure the movie's going to turn me into a big babbling pile of man.
Also, try to find the Kit Harrison and
Toothless interview.
The audition tape.
Audition tape, yeah, that's great. Godzilla, King of the Monsters, looks great. Really excited for Godzilla. Men in Black International looks a lot of fun. Anybody who's watched Thor Ragnarok is gonna love Chris Hemsworth and Tessa Thompson back together. And a TV show I'm really excited for is Young Justice is coming back on the DC Universe app. So if you're a big fan of Young Justice, the 3rd season drops I believe tomorrow. So.
Yeah. So already we have stuff to look forward to.
Yeah, anything in 2019 you're looking forward to?
Yeah.
The Winds of Winter. That's going to supposedly come out this year.
Which one?
Winds of Winter is supposedly supposed to come out this year.
Shut up. It's never coming out. He's never releasing that frickin' book.
Hey, it's going to come out the same time as Zack Snyder's cut of Justice League. It's going to happen.
I've given up. I'm not even looking forward to it anymore, honestly. I'm just assuming it's never going to come out.
All right. Anything else? Anything you're excited for in 2019?
I think movies-wise, we've hit all the stuff that I hopefully will get to see either in theater or, once it releases at home. But that's pretty much it. All the stuff that I was really honestly looking forward to. I mean, there's like TV shows and stuff, but I mean, it's more just like for my wife and I, just for like all like the little dumb shows that we watch. So
yeah, same here. I know we're not going to mention all the Arrow shows and all the everything. Obviously, we're excited for Jack Ryan season 2 and all the season 2s of the shows we mentioned. But those are a few things that stand out that we are excited for. So. All right, there we go. So that's I'm sure there's plenty of things we missed. We would love to hear from you guys and let us know what you guys' best worst 2018 is and what you're excited for 2019. Sorry, we've been talking for a long time already.
Long episode.
Yeah, this might be our longest episode yet. But hey, we take a week off. This is what you get. Double-sized episode coming back. All right, so real quick before we get out of here, we had a couple questions from the Faithful 50. Yes. Ryan, do you have those queued up?
Yes, we did have one. Jeff, he said he wants to know what nerd stuff did he get for Christmas. And he got, like you said, his first 2 Funko Pops. He got Superman and the Clark Kent. And they both look very nice. And we are very proud of you, Jeff.
Yes, they are very, very cool. Sorry, I'm looking for, we had another question from Christine here. Yeah, Jeff, they're very cool.
I'll be short and sweet. My wife and I, we decided to not really just do presents with each other this year. So I got socks and underwear. We got each other like...
Were they sexy socks and sexy underwear?
I got some really good thick socks.
I got some sexy boxers. They have panda faces on them.
Yeah, so we just figured if we were gonna get something, we'll just buy it anyways. So,
well, that's cool.
I got a nice. My daughter did draw me a Teen Titans Go, but she drew us as the characters, and so I was Cyborg. My son was Beast Boy. Nice. She was Starfire, and my wife was Raven.
Nice.
So that's probably the nerdiest thing that I got.
Cool. Well, unlike you, my wife loves me, so I got a lot of really cool stuff. So I'm going to show you some of that right now.
Your wife, the only way she shows that she loves you is through the purchase of things.
Oh no, that's not the only way she shows me she loves me, Ryan. Take my word for that. I got a bunch of stuff. Some of it I didn't bring it all down, but I brought a sampling. I have a really cool Star Wars shirt that I will wear on the show at some point. It is a Van Gogh Starry Night, but with stormtroopers. Very cool shirt that my daughter got me. So here's a sampling, a couple of things that I got. We'll start with some of the smaller stuff. Speaking of Funko, Jeff, I got a John Wick Funko. Look at that.
That's sweet. Does it come with a puppy?
That was the only thing I was disappointed with. He didn't have a dog. What's up with that? A Funko. Where's the dog? Come on, seriously? All right, moving up. You guys saw it earlier. I got this new, I forget what it's called, but it's like, I think it's called Mean Mugs or Mighty Mugs or something. Luke Skywalker, you push his head down, he makes angry faces. There we go. That's going to be definitely a prop on the show. I got a Rey. See her? See back there?
Oh, the action figure.
Yeah, the big one right back here. You can see her lightsaber. Got Rey back there. Yeah, because I like girl superheroes, Star Wars characters. I think there's going to be a special Rey tattoo added somewhere on this bad boy somewhere. Maybe right here. I'll put Rey right here. Speaking of Last Jedi and how great it was, I got Old Man Luke. Look at that.
Old Man Luke?
The black action figure.
Does the cape flutter away?
What?
Does the cloak flutter away?
It can. They have the become one with the force button. I'm not going to push it though. I got this. Look at this. I haven't opened it yet. It's the new vinyl series for Funko's Jabba the Hutt.
That's sweet.
And Scalabus Crumb.
Tongue twister.
I got this. Look at this. I got this. I got a little Chewbacca.
That's pretty funny.
This is going on my travel backpack. This is going to go with me everywhere. My wife made me a really cool decal for my iMac or for my MacBook. It's a Darth Vader. You've seen it, Ryan.
Oh yeah, the one
He's holding the apple, and most importantly, Jeff, I know you'll appreciate this. I got a new piggy bank.
Ooh.
Super pig, flying around like a big fat super pig, saving my money and then spending on vacations. Look out, it's Super Pig.
That's pretty nice. Where's the money slot open at?
Right here.
Nice.
So that's just that's some of the nerdy stuff I got. There you go. That's my nerd take for the year. I mean, I got some iTunes card. I got Mission Impossible Fallout. I don't know if that's nerdy, but got a couple cool shirts. Got some, like I said, I got some Panda boxers. I got some Captain America boxer briefs. Pretty cool. Anyway, there you go. That was my nerdy haul for Christmas. So Jeff told us what he got. We'd love to hear what you guys got.
Yeah, and now I feel a little sad about my Christmas. Thanks.
You should. I mean, you should feel sad as your wife and children.
Well, I just didn't want to do anything.
Dude, it's fine. Listen.
So what did Christine have?
I'm never going to shame you for not spending money on Christmas. God knows I can get whatever I want when I need to, so I feel your pain. All right, Christine, who did choose, she reached out to us and said that she would like a Fandango gift card. Last week we told Christine that because she was the only... We were ready to give out Christmas presents, and she was the only one to leave us a question. And she's literally left us a question like every week this year. We would reward her. And she chose a Fandango gift card. So, Christine, I'm going to be sending you the codes for basically a night out with you and your hubby. You guys can go see a movie. I would recommend Aquaman. Good movie. Or whatever you'd like to see. Also, Bumblebee. Good movie.
Or if you would like to go out with Brian. He makes a good guess.
I do make a good guess, but she lives in Arizona. I'm not driving to Arizona. I mean, whatever. If me, you, and her husband want to go out on a triple date and I can just commentary throughout the entire movie, I'd be more than happy to do that. All right, here we go. Let's see. She wants to know, probably the most important question, how much weight did we gain from our holiday eating and drinking?
You
gained weight from holiday eating and drinking?
Wow. Did you weigh yourself at all?
Yes, I was a nice feathery 215 pounds, which I'm about 6'1", so that's not too shabby. I'm currently at about 221, so I'm going to say 6 pounds, which isn't terrible, considering how much I ate over the last 2 weeks and drank.
I was around, when I last weighed myself in early December, I think I was like 218. And
but you're like 5'3".
I've been doing a lot of walking, so I'm going to say I have not gained anything.
Well, good for you. I'm saying that you didn't step on a scale, you lying son of a bitch.
I'm just going to say I took my shirt off for the
I'm going to say that I put on 7 pounds of muscle, Christine. Look at these guns.
We don't gain weight, we gain...
It's all in the beard. I've been growing the beard out.
Yeah.
I'm not going to shave till the Seahawks lose, which means I'm not going to shave till after the Super Bowl.
I did one of those apps with my kids where, it puts all like this, changes your faces and everything like that. And it put a beard on me, like a full beard. And I realized that when I'm, the one day I become a real grown man and I can actually grow a beard, I think I'm going to grow just a full out beard.
You should do it. In 20 years when you grow a beard. And then Christine also had one more follow-up question. She said, the most obvious question of all, did we make any New Year's resolutions? Did you make any New Year's resolutions, Ryan?
My New Year's, I have 2 books that I have started that I've been wanting to finish. One was it's more like a novella. It's only about 40,000 words. It's not like a huge book. I've already written almost all of it. It's just more like editing and trying to build on a couple of chapters that I wanted to finish out.
Is it Why I Love Brian and Why He's So Great?
No, it's a post-apocalyptic fantasy book.
Is it about Brian Saves the World?
No. There's no one named Brian in it.
Is there a main hero named Brianot? And he's a super stud and he saves everyone and he's a sidekick named Ryan the Lionheart?
Yeah, no. But I also had a second book that I was doing that was more of a family genealogy book, and I've been wanting to finish that so I could send it to my dad's side of the family because I've been working on that for a while and I need to finish it. So
nice. My resolutions. I didn't really make any resolutions. More just. I guess it's resolutions. I don't like making proclamations, but this year I want to get back to reading more. I stated kind of earlier. I didn't realize how much I didn't read this year. I watched a lot of shit TV. I spent a lot of time on social media this year, way more than I had any right to. I already do a lot of stuff for Geek Dad Report, so that requires a bunch of my time, but I need to get away from just scrolling for 30 minutes for no reason whatsoever. I can spend that time doing infinitely better things.
We decided that we're going to do 2 nights a week now where the TV is just going, and TV's off, tablets are off. Nobody can do any other than reading a book or, sitting around.
We're going to do the same thing. We want to get back more to family game nights, less, there's so much stuff to consume, and that's not a bad thing, but, we need to get back to doing more family things and less consuming of media, right? So, and honestly, and all of us, we all want to read more. Me, my wife, my 2 girls, we all want to read more. I would love to finally start writing a book. I've been trying to talk myself into it for a long time. I've got about 10 different ideas of stories.
For a book, Brian.
I need to get over my fear of you can't do it and just do it. So that's kind of something I want to do. I want to start writing.
You read that book on how to write a book, didn't you?
Yeah, I'm almost finished with it. I got to finish that book too. It's more like just notes, like cliff notes on like ideas of how to get started, right? And that's kind of where I'm at. So I think I'm going to finally try and do it this year, but it's just kind of some of my news. My wife wants me to tattoo more. She wants me to get more tattoos. But I was like, that's not a resolution. I just do it. But I just want to get kind of back to doing what I enjoy doing more, spending more time thinking about, fun things and just being happy. Trying to enjoy the ride more instead of thinking about like, hey, where do I want to be? Just try and get back to enjoying life and reading more and spending more time with my family and stuff like that. So,
all good. Good.
It's been a crazy couple of years around here in this country, and I want to get kind of a little bit back to normalcy. So, it's kind of what I'd like to do. So there we go. All right, thank you, Christine, for your question, and I will be getting back to you soon with your gift card to go see a movie with your man. So enjoy it from us, the Geek Dad Report, because we want to reward all you guys because you guys are awesome, and especially the most awesome-est. All right, and real quick before we get out of here, I don't know if Ryan had a recommendation. I'm going to make it real fast so we can leave. For Christmas, my daughter's got Exploding Kittens. It's a card game. It's an actually really fun card game. We play it with the kids. We've already played about 15 games with them since we got it for Christmas. If you got kids who are, I don't know, my daughter's 6 and 9 and they both can play. You want a fun family game that you can play as an adult and it's quick and you can blow through it pretty fast. Exploding Kittens. A lot of fun.
I'll have to get into that. I didn't know if that was going to be too adult.
Well, apparently there's an adult version called Exploding Adult Word for Kittens.
Oh, okay.
And apparently it's really fun too as well. So there you go.
Sounds good.
All right. Did you have anything?
No, my recommendations were all in our 2019
all
things.
Right.
That
there you go. Yes, we've given this show should be called so many recommendations. But all right. So we can get out of here before the 2-hour mark, this is definitely our longest show of all time. Yeah. Ryan, would you like to tell everybody where they can find us?
You can find us on YouTube at the Geek Dad Report and Twitter at the Geek Dad Report. Brian is Brian North73 and I am Big Bruiser. We are also on Facebook at the Geek Dad Report, and you can find us on podhell.com with our friends, the Utah Outcast. And we're also on iTunes at the Geek Dad Report. So make sure you comment, like, subscribe, and just tell us how we're doing, and we will get back to you.
And Ryan promises to update it.
Yes, and I am updating it now that Chris has fixed the plugins for the WordPress, and I can finally see the actual thing where I need to put the audio file. So, thanks, Chris. Much appreciated. So, and then angry, happy.
Anyway, all right, that's it. You got anything else?
No,
all right.
I need to bed.
Yeah,
I got to work in 4 hours.
It's been a long episode, so we're getting the hell out of here. So everybody, thanks for coming back. Happy New Year. May your 2019 be glorious. And until next time, everybody, stay awesome.
And stay nerdy.